Hisoka, Chrollo, Meruem. For years we've debated which of these titans would be the final villain of Hunter x Hunter. One is the embodiment of chaotic evil, another is the calculating leader of a nihilistic cult, and the last was a literal god king. They're all S-tier antagonists, and they are all red herrings. Because the true final boss isn't a monster or a magician, he's a ghost. A man whose name was mentioned once and then seemingly forgotten, but whose unbreakable hatred for humanity is the one force that could actually destroy the world. Welcome back to the Anime Bureau agents. Today we are opening our most important cold case. We are going to prove that Gyro is not just a forgotten plot point, he is the endgame. We'll deconstruct his tragic origin, track his ghostly movements through the story, and reveal how he could potentially weaponize the most terrifying forces in the series to achieve his goal. This brings us to our thematic core for today. What if humanity itself is a virus? A destructive ideology that infects everything it touches. This is a story about a man who wasn't broken by monsters but by people, and his final plan is to return the favor. To solve this case, you only need to know two impossible facts. Fact 1. A man named Gyro was killed and reborn as a Chimera Ant. Fact 2. His human will was so strong he ignored the Ant Queen, broke free, and just walked away. How does a man's hatred for humanity become stronger than a force of nature? That's the question. And the answer is why he's the true final boss. Let's begin.
Question number 1. What creates a monster? To understand a villain of this magnitude, you have to dissect his origin story. And Gyro's backstory is one of the most brutal things Togashi has ever written. He wasn't born a king. He was born in a literal scrap heap. His father didn't see him as a son, but as a slave, a tool to be used and abused. For years, his father drilled one single solitary lesson into his head. Don't be a nuisance to other people. It's like the worst video game tutorial ever. You get one core mechanic, one rule to live by, and you follow it religiously because it's the only thing you know. And Gyro did. He endured unimaginable cruelty, physical and psychological, all in absolute silence, because he was desperately trying not to be a nuisance. But the breaking point, the moment the man died and the monster was born, came when he discovered the truth. His father wasn't just cruel, he was a hypocrite on a soul-shattering level. The man who told him not to be a nuisance had actually murdered him as a child and hidden his body in a construction site, all to avoid the nuisance of raising him. It's a game-breaking bug in his personal code. In that moment, Gyro realized that humanity, with its rules, its morality, its love, was a lie, a sick, twisted joke. So he dedicated his entire being to a new singular purpose, a vengeful inversion of his father's rule, to become the ultimate nuisance, to spread the same evil and misery that humanity had shown him back onto the entire world. His nation, NGL, was the first stage of this plan. It was his first great act of misanthropy. He created a country based on the noble ideal of living in harmony with nature, and then used that ideal as a cover to run a massive drug ring, poisoning the youth of other nations. He was already proving his point, that even the noblest human ideals are easily corrupted. The answer to question number 1? Humanity creates its own worst monsters. It gives them a twisted moral code and then betrays it, leaving them with nothing but a desire for revenge.
Okay, so we have a man with an unbreakable will and a terrifying ideology. But he's just one man. That leads to our next crucial question. Question number 2. How does one man declare war on the world? This is where the Chimera Ants come in. For any other character, being killed and subjected to phagogenesis, the process where the queen consumes a creature and passes its traits to her offspring, would be the end. For Gyro, it was a power-up. He was one of the few humans to be reborn as an ant while retaining his entire human soul and will. He didn't become a loyal soldier, he just walked away. The queen's control meant nothing to him. His hatred for humanity was stronger than the biology of the world's most powerful predator. Imagine you're the Ant Queen, the CEO of Apocalyptic Inc., and your first major hire, this Gyro guy, just takes his signing bonus, ignores all his KPIs, and walks out the door to start a rival company using your proprietary technology. It's the ultimate HR nightmare. Think about what this means. The Chimera Ant invasion wasn't a random disaster. It was an accidental recruitment drive for Gyro. He now understands ant biology. He knows their strengths, their weaknesses. He knows they can use Nen, and he's seen firsthand that they can be a force of nature capable of bringing humanity to its knees. Most importantly, he saw that even the most powerful ant, the king himself, could be brought low by a uniquely human evil, a cheap, dirty bomb. This experience didn't just give him a new body, it gave him a new strategy. The ants weren't his army, they were his proof of concept. The answer to question number 2? You don't fight the world alone. You find bigger monsters, and you learn from their mistakes. This brings us to the final, terrifying stage of our investigation. Question number 3. Where does Gyro find his monsters? He's heading to Meteor City, a lawless junk heap populated by outcasts who have rejected the world. Their motto is, "We reject nothing, so take nothing from us." It's the perfect recruiting ground for a man who wants to burn it all down. But Meteor City is just the start. The true prize, the ultimate arsenal for a war against humanity, lies beyond the known world, the Dark Continent. The Dark Continent is home to the 5 great calamities, threats so immense they make the Chimera Ants look like a nature documentary. Let's look at the official threat assessment. You have Brian, the botanical weapon. Think of it as the ultimate botanical pyramid scheme. It touches you, you become part of it, and then you go touch other people. It's a self-replicating army of body snatchers. Then there's Hellbell, a snake that infects people with a murderous madness. It's basically the 28 days later rage virus, but it's a snake, turning entire populations into homicidal hordes. You have Pap, a parasite that enslaves any creature it touches, creating a docile, energy-producing slave population. Think of the Borg from Star Trek, but they're just trying to keep you alive as a human battery. There's the Zobe disease, an incurable plague that promises an eternal, agonizing existence. It's a zombie plague where you don't even get the sweet release of being a mindless zombie. It's body horror on a cosmic level. And finally, there's I, a gaseous life form that grants wishes at a catastrophic price. It's a genie in a bottle, but the bottle is the entire atmosphere, and the genie is a manipulative gas cloud that grants your wish in the most monkey's paw way imaginable. These aren't just monsters, they are living, breathing paradigms of destruction. They are the perfect tools for a man whose goal is to inflict misery. Why build an army when you can unleash a plague? Why fight a war when you can drive your enemy insane from the inside out? The answer to question number 3? Gyro isn't going to build an army. He's going to unleash an ecosystem of horrors. So let's put it all together. A man forged in the crucible of human cruelty. A will so strong it can overcome death and rebirth. And an entire continent of apocalyptic weapons waiting to be unleashed. This isn't just a theory about a forgotten villain. This is the blueprint for the final arc of Hunter x Hunter. But the why is where we find the true genius of this story. This is the Bureau's final verdict. Gyro is not just the final villain because he's strong. He is the final villain because he is the thematic antithesis of Gon Freaks. Think about it. Gon's entire journey has been a struggle with his own humanity. He's a pure-hearted kid who can touch the darkest parts of his soul, as we saw when he sacrificed everything to defeat P2. He walks the razor's edge between man and monster. Meruem, the Ant King, had the opposite journey. He was a monster who, through his connection with Komugi, discovered his own humanity. The entire Chimera Ant arc was about this question. What does it mean to be human? Gyro is the final, terrifying answer to that question. He is a man who experienced the very worst of humanity and made a conscious philosophical choice to reject it entirely. He didn't lose his humanity like Gon, he shed it. He looked at the duality of good and evil that defines our species and chose pure, unadulterated malice. The final battle of Hunter x Hunter won't be about Nen or physical strength. It will be a philosophical war. Gon, the boy who represents the potential for humanity to be both good and monstrous, versus Gyro, the man who believes humanity is only a monster and must be eradicated. He is the final exam for the series' central theme. And that, for me, is why this is the only way the story can end. It's not just a big fight. It's the culmination of everything the series has been asking us. It's heavy, it's brilliant, and it's why we do what we do here at the Bureau. Find the story behind the story. If you appreciate this kind of deep dive investigation, and you want to be part of an agency that cracks these cases wide open, then consider this your official invitation. Make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell to be deputized for all future cases. And if this report blew your mind, hit that like button. The case on Gyro is far from closed. It's just beginning. The ghost is still out there, building his forces, waiting for his moment. So that's your final assignment, agents. Which of the Dark Continent calamities do you think Gyro will weaponize first? And how can a Nenless Gon possibly stand against a man who embodies pure hatred? Present your analysis in the evidence locker below. The Bureau is always reading.